Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a quick overview video of the DW3300A Snare Stand. It's part of the 3000 series from DW's hardware, and it's a medium weight snare drum stand. I like it, and I just picked it up, so I thought I'd make a video of some of the features or some of the things that I think were cool and why I got this one over some of the other snare drum stands that they had. So I'm just going to go through the features kind of one by one and point them out in case anybody was wanting to pick the snare drum stand up. So the first thing I really like about it is that the memory lock has a beveling on it. It kind of has like a front tooth. You can kind of see it. It fits really well with the bottom part of the stand. So whenever you're raising or lowering it back down onto the memory lock setting, it just fits and it just holds really well. Like you can just it feels solid when it locks in, and it's kind of just a quality of life feature and something that's kind of very popular along the DW series is just things that are not necessarily, but they definitely make the stand just feel a little better. So that's something I really liked about it. The next thing is the adjuster for the basket. The adjuster has like a coating on it. It's not quite like rubberized, but it just feels good kind of whenever you're turning it. It just gives you a little extra grip. Just another quality of life thing. It's just kind of cool. Another thing is on the rubber, like the arms or the little hands for the basket, there's this little gap in between that creates kind of a cushion. So if you tighten your snare drum a lot, or if it lands on a strainer or just on the rim even, it kind of gives it like a little bit of give so that it doesn't feel like it's kind of overly choking out the rim of the drum or anything like that. One thing that is weird, it doesn't really do anything, but the adjuster for the basket, if you turn it all the way, it does run into the basket itself, at least when it's open. It doesn't actually do anything. You don't have to turn it all the way around for it to fully adjust the tilt. So it doesn't affect the function of it. You can totally turn the stand and adjust the tilt perfectly fine just with a little bit of unlocking so it doesn't actually do anything for the function. It's just kind of one of those weird things. But if you're at the end of the gig or something and you raise the basket up like that, then you can turn it all the way and you can adjust it just to pack it away or anything, but you do have to close the basket for it to freely spin all the way around. But again, like I said, it doesn't affect the function. You can adjust the tilt just by opening it as much as it does. Another cool feature that they added is the basket tilt has numbers on it. So if you adjust it, you can kind of remember your setting and know how much tilt it is, and you can just kind of adjust it based on that. This is really handy if you're someone that backlines, or maybe if you switch between the way you set up your drum kit between maybe like a jazz gig or, something like that, where you want to have tilt and then you go back to a gig where you don't want to have tilt. It's kind of nice to just maybe remember your setting, or maybe if you have a student or someone backlining your kit and they move the snare drum, and you can just move it right back. So this is the snare drum on its lowest setting. The stand is as low as it can go. That's a 6.5 by 14 inch Gretsch snare drum that I'm using. This is me sitting with it down as low as it can go. The throne is also as low as it can go, so just a little bit of reference. That's a 5B Vic First stick, so I think the site said it adjusts from 18 to 24 inches. This is the snare drum as high as it can go. If you're maybe like a Todd Zuckerman or someone who kind of plays their snare drum really high, or maybe you're just kind of doing something with a snare drum only, you could do that, I guess, if you wanted to, or if you maybe had a piccolo snare drum or you're just on a pad, you might have to raise it this high. Just kind of depends on what you're using it for in your specific situation. It all kind of varies based on what you're doing with the stand, but it has a pretty good amount of adjustability, I think. Here I just wanted to demonstrate how far the stand can tilt forward. So this is if it goes all the way forward. It's just kind of off to the side if you play left-handed maybe, or something like that. That's as far as it can tilt that direction. Here I just set it to about where I'll set it if I'm, playing like a traditional jazz gig and I just really want to get into the vibe and try to emulate like a Philly Joe Jones or, Max Roach or any of those old school jazz cats that, Buddy Rich, It all depends on how you like to play. There I just wanted to demonstrate how far forward, or I guess backwards now, the stand can tilt in the other direction. It kind of just depends on where you like to set up your kit, or if you're holding a tom, or what you're setting up. You might not be using a snare drum, so I also wanted to demonstrate what it looks like from the front. I know there's people that like to set up their snare drum with a lot of forward tilt because some people don't like hitting the rim or playing rim shots. So overall, I think it's a great snare drum stand. I think you can pick it up for around $119, maybe I think at like Guitar Center, but definitely recommend it. So check it out, give it a shot. Later.